oh, no, we're not partners over there. That's up to the company. That came from an application, didn't come from us. Well, really? Well, hang on a minute. At the meeting, the person there helping them with the application was from guess where? SEPCO. Who owns SEPCO? The City of Chilliwack. Who funds that? The taxpayers. So it was the taxpayers funding a city-owned corporation that helped them arrive at this location in the first place. So when they don't come forward with the truth, I have a big concern with that. And like I said at the beginning, if the city can't prioritize the difference between a barking dog and the most toxic waste site in BC, I have a bit of an issue with that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Glenn Thompson. So I see that the other two presenters do have some paper. I'm going to bring the podium out a little bit here. And as I mentioned, there will be time for questions, and you can direct your questions to any panel member you wish at the end of the presentations. So our next speaker is Rodney Clapton. He's an avid recreational fisher and environmentalist. And for the past 45 years, gosh, these numbers keep flying out at me. 45 years, he has been active in fisheries-related issues across the entire province. He's the president of the BC Federation of Drift Fishers and past recipient of the DFO's Canadian Recreational Fisheries. And on his spare time, he is also director of the Fraser River Salmon Table and involved in many other recreational fisher organizations. Rodney Clapton, it's a pleasure to have you out today to share.
I don't know if I need this actually. We'll see. Thank you very much, Gwen. Wonderful to see the turnout here today. Particularly, I must say, to see the younger people here. We have a lot of these meetings, and most of them are people like myself, a little more advanced in age perhaps, grizzled old veterans, we like to call ourselves. So to see the young people here is fantastic. I should also mention too that, similar to Kat, I've been married a long time, 45 years. Are you ready now? 15 to my first wife, 15 to my My wife isn't here, I can say that. I must say, too, it's a great honor to be able to share the stage with Mark Angelo. But there are pitfalls in that. If you speak prior to Mark, there's a portion of the crowd probably say, who the hell is this guy, and hurry up. If you follow Mark, they say, man, is this guy boring? So hopefully, I do promise to be brief and hopefully not too boring. As Gwen mentioned, I'm here representing the recreation community. And that's a large community. It includes, of course, guides. It includes the recreation business, tackle shops, etc. In total, our organization, the BC Federation of Drift Fishers, we've been as high as 900 members province-wide. And we also have many members in this area, in the Chilliwack area. And we like to suggest that we hold ourselves out as the voice of river anglers. Needless to say, the recreational fishery is extremely important to this community and everywhere along the Fraser River. Very gratifying how quickly this coalition came together. To date, we have 17 groups that have signed on in this coalition opposing this facility. And of course, we have the Stolo Tribal Council. And I see the late Ernie Cray has made it. And special thanks to Ernie for his efforts right up front in getting the Stolo Nation involved. Thank you. I believe, as most can appreciate, it's rather unique to be able to get the recreation fishing community, the environmental community, community groups, and First Nations all together this quickly in common concern. Obviously, the common concern is the proposed hazardous waste facility on the banks of the Fraser River. And it should be pointed out, and this is certainly evidenced by the many groups involved who have provincial affiliations, I should say, that this concern certainly transcends the boundaries of Chilliwack. This is a provincial concern. This is a Canada-wide concern. This is an international concern, this facility. And why is that? It's because we are talking about the world's #1 salmon river. That's what we're talking about. What are these concerns? As Glenn touched on, of course, and mentioned, PCBs, mercury, infectious waste, leaching into the, never mind flooding, leaching into the Fraser River. We've confirmed it from the Minister of Environment that virtually every hazardous waste facility in British Columbia does have leaching issues. That's a given. Okay? Regardless of safeguards put forward, there will be accidents. Mechanical, human error, etc. Do you remember as Glenn also mentioned, this material will be trucked in and out of the facility. Wasn't that many years ago? Remember the semi-trailer upside down on the Veta River? Can you see that happening again? Not if it happens, when it happens. That is a given. You'd be interested to know, right off the Avita site, some of the materials that are going in here. Glenn mentioned a couple, I mentioned some more. Transformer oils, 350,000 liters monthly. Mercury lamps, 500,000 monthly. Transformer and electrical equipment, 250 tons monthly. Then we get into the really good stuff. Class 3 flammable liquids. Class 4 flammable liquids. Class 5 oxidizing substances and organic peroxides. Class 6 toxic and infectious substances. What is that? Class 8 corrosives. And the one best of all, other than the devil's brew that we just already discussed, Class 9, whatever that is, miscellaneous materials. Is that bodies from the mafia? I mean, wow. Pretty scary stuff. Now, what about the recreation fishery? And I'm supposed to be talking about that here today. The reality is that the value of the recreational fishery on the Fraser River has been recently estimated to be in excess of $125 million per year. This is gas, this is food, fishing, camping gear, this is guiding, boat sales, goes on and on and on. And suffice to say, all this could be in jeopardy from this proposed hazardous waste facility. I think it's fair to say that no amount of economic benefit can justify putting this facility on the floodplain of the world's #1 salmon river. We, when I say we, I think I'm speaking for the group and for the 17 other groups and probably First Nations as well. We support further and future economic development. But the proviso is that this development has to be environmentally responsible. Putting PCBs, mercury, and other materials, infectious substances, etc., on the floodplain of the world's #1 river, that is beyond irresponsible. And I don't think anyone would dispute that fact at all. The other thing that we, from day one, and again, I'm speaking for the group, we have been extremely consistent in our messaging. Our message is, we are not opposed to the facility. We're not. We appreciate the fact that these facilities are required. We are opposed to the location. The simplicity of our message is, we are not opposed to the facility, we are opposed to the location. That's our message. All concerned citizens within Chilliwack here, and certainly outside of Chilliwack, you have to demand accountability of your elected officials. Whether it be a councilman, whether it be an MLA, whether it be an MP. Demand some accountability on this issue. Make them step forward. Make them commit to this. As concerned citizens, we must all demand that there be a full environmental assessment of this project before it ever gets off the ground. And there's time, folks, to do that. We expect our elected officials to protect the environment. That's their job. We all have a responsibility as well to ensure that our environment is protected and this heritage is preserved for our future generations. Unfortunately, it probably could be said that maybe to date we've done a pretty lousy job of being stewards of the resource. But most certainly, let's not make it any worse. Thank you, and now you get to hear Mr. Angelo.